Airline baggage fees keep increasing, all while restrictions seem to be getting tighter. This bag right here aims to be your personal item sidekick, your in-flight companion. And in today's video, I'm gonna let you know if this bag deserves a spot underneath the airline seat in front of you, and how well does it live up to some of the marketing taglines that are being used on this bag, like overbuilt, not overpriced. If that sounds good to you, let's unpack all of the details of the CARRYX Personal Duffle. CARRYX is a new company out of Canada, and this is their very first offering, the Personal Duffle 27L. And I love the fact that for their very first bag, they decided to tackle a specific use case. Rather than trying to build like a jack of all trades bag, they're really leaning into the master of one. And since this is a duffel bag, you have a nice like horseshoe style opening into the main compartment. And on the inside, you can see that because it's a big square, we have a nice giant interior layout. The interior of this bag is really simple. You have one stretch pocket on this side, and that's pretty much it on the interior. You'll see some material here, and that's for the external pockets, but there's nothing else on the interior of this bag besides that one stretch pocket. I love the way this interior is laid out because it gives you the bulk of the capacity into the main compartment, and I would say about 25 liters of this 27L capacity bag is going to be on the inside of this compartment, and everything else is going to be left to the outside. So for a duffel bag, I think the interior layout here is fantastic. Now on the upper part of the lid, you'll see like this vinyl clear plastic material. This is designed to be like a wet pocket. I'm not a real big fan of those wet pockets where you put all your toiletries and stuff in. I prefer my own toiletry bag. And while this is actually my favorite pocket on this entire bag, I'll show you how I used it. I just think the vinyl here, I don't know if I trusted to having my liquids on top of all my gear. And also it just doesn't feel like the best quality. Now I get the use case. You can use this as a toiletry bag to put your toiletries in, and you can also use it as like, you know, if you have a wet bathing suit, toss it in there. So I see the utility in it. I'm just not a huge fan of these style of pockets. So I took a page out of the Vision Swell handbook and traveled personal item only several times with this bag. So shout out Zach. He is a huge fan of personal item only travel. And how I use this bag is simple for 2 to 3 day trips. And here are the items that I put into the inside of this bag. Now I have my Westbreeze packing cube. This is the large. It is a compression packing cube like most you'll find on the market. The difference maker here in the Westbreeze set is that it is a hanging closet. It has this hook, and you can hang up your packing cube in your bag. You have your socks and underwears up here, and 3-day loadout here. So this is how I carried the bag for a 3-day loadout. The additional feature of this bag, not only is it hanging, it has clips down at the bottom where you can clip on the additional packing cubes, another large, another small, and also a dirty clothes bag. So it's pretty cool. This is my favorite packing cube set that I've been using for the last several months. There's going to be a link in the description as well as a discount code if you want to check out the Westbreeze packing cubes. I really do recommend these, and I'm going to do a full review. It's coming, should be coming very soon. So the large packing cube fits into the center of this bag beautifully. Now, yes, can you put more clothes into this bag without the packing cube? Probably, for sure. It's all about organization for me. So you can see that that packing cube fits there. And to organize my electronics, I chose to go with the Evergoods Cap 1. On the inside here, I just have the basic stuff, my chargers, charging bricks, I have my Magic Mouse, cables, that sorts of things. I like to keep my things organized. While this bag does have plenty of organization on the outside, we'll get into that here in a second. I like to have everything centralized in one pouch. And rather than using the wet pocket here for my toiletries, I have my go-to toiletry bag, the Gravel Slim. I've used this for years, literally from the start of my channel. This is the toiletry kit that I've been using. It is a hanging toiletry kit. It's easy to clean. It is prescriptive in the organization, but it just fits everything I need in there so beautifully. My go-to toiletry kit will fit down into the bottom of this bag as well. So there's going to be links to all the stuff you see in the video if you want to check out any specific piece of gear. But as you can see there, it fits beautifully with my tech kit, toiletry bag, and a 3-day loadout there. Now you can see that I have room available on each side, and that's really built on purpose. Now it took a few times to really get this bag dialed in for me. The reason I have extra room on the outside is it's going to give the external pockets a little bit of room to breathe. So just like any bag, if you max out and overstuff the main compartment, it's going to basically eliminate all of the usable volume from your exterior pockets. So while it looks like I have a lot of extra room in here, as I pack this bag out, you can see how this main compartment will start to snug up. Now sometimes I found when I was opening or closing the main compartment, the zipper tracks wasn't always the smoothest operation. I think it's because you have to round these bends, and I think that vinyl clear pocket does something to the rigidity of this pocket where it just doesn't make it the smoothest operation when you're opening and closing the main compartment. The materials on this bag I think are they're okay. I think they're better than what you would find on a department store bag like Walmart or Target, but they're also not super premium materials like you would find on Air or Evergoods style of bag. We have a 1680D ballistic polyester at the bottom, a 420D Oxford nylon. You do have YKK zippers throughout the bag, with the main compartments being lockable with NIFCO hardware. Again, I'm not familiar with NIFCO hardware. Typically on bags you'll see Woojin or Duraflex. So again, I think they're better than some of the cheaper bags, but also not super premium. I think at $120 that is reflected in the price point. The areas of the bag that do feel cheap is that plastic vinyl interior pocket and also the interior lining. I feel that the interior lining does feel a little plasticky. It does like some sort of probably like recycled polyester. It's not listed on the website, but they don't feel super premium as something you would see on other bags. So this compartment does have a little bit of its own dedicated volume, but it's also recessed into the main compartment. So this is exactly why I don't like to pack out the main compartment. I want a little bit of usable volume on the outside. So some of the things that I packed on the outside are like my moleskin notebook. This easily fit down in that back zippered pocket there. I had my car keys clipped to the key leash, tucked into there. Pin in the pin slot. On this pocket here is where I kept my power bank. Now this is my Iniu P63 power bank. This is a bad boy, 25,000 milliamp power bank. It's also super fast charging at 100 watts, so you can charge your MacBook Pro, and of course it comes with a built-in cable here where you can charge your laptop. Now I'm able to take my MacBook Pro 14-inch from like 7%, I took all the way back up to 100% with one single charge of this power bank, and it charges it very, very fast. I like to keep my power banks easily accessible on the outside, not with my other tech, because I grab this way more frequently than my other stuff, and it fit down into that pocket there. Now my go-to travel flashlight is always the Wubin X4. I've covered this in many videos. I've used this in so many videos because this is my actual go-to flashlight, and it fit down in there. Then it does have that smart tracking pocket down at the bottom, and my AirTag fit in there beautifully. Had no issues with it coming out. It stayed securely tucked in there to the bottom of the bag. And the last thing I wanted quick access to are my Apple AirPods Max. Fit beautifully right down into the bottom section there, and we can get that zippered up. So there's still quite a bit of room in that main admin compartment, but I think it's really important to understand that this bag is malleable. It's soft, even though it has plenty of structure because the sides are padded, the bottom is padded. It gives this bag some nice structure, but because it has that malleability, and if you overstuff it, it no longer will fit into a personal item size or box. I got really ambitious one day and tried to pack this out for 5 days, and while I was able to fit it all into this bag, when I tried to test it into my personal item size or box, it did not fit. So it's important to note that, you know, you really don't want to overstuff this if you're strictly trying to stay within those personal item limitations. On the back side of the bag is where the laptop compartment sleeve is, or for your tablet. It is padded nicely on both sides. Should protect your device fairly well. Now I did travel with the 14-inch MacBook Pro. I have a 3D printed one here, but my actual device is a 14-inch MacBook Pro. And just to test what you could fit into this compartment, the largest laptop I was able to fit is a 15-inch MacBook Air. It fits right at the limit, and it will still close up fairly easy. Now, because my 14-inch MacBook Pro is a little thicker, that comes into play because, again, it eats into more capacity of the main compartment. So this is the advantage of not really overstuffing the main compartment. Again, is because my devices were able to fit very nicely into the back laptop compartment area. Now this bag still has some more external pocketing. On this side here, you have the top pull handle here, making it easier for you to get this bag from underneath the seat or out of the trunk of the car. Nice little nylon webbing handle there. You have an additional pocket here, slip pocket on the front. Now this pocket does have some good amount of volume. It actually protrudes into the main compartment. Again, another reason why you don't want to pack the main compartment out super tight. Now, they got me here. The promotional photos show them using AirPod Maxes into this pocket here, and I was super excited. I was like, oh, it has a dedicated headphone pocket. Not the case. The promotional photos show the AirPod Maxes without the bra. So if you use the AirPod Maxes without the bra, it will go into that compartment, but you need this little bra thingy here so the AirPod Maxes can stay in that low power mode. So most of the time, people are traveling with your AirPod Maxes like this. will not fit in that front compartment. So this is the reason why I loaded them up into the front. Now, if you travel with like Sony XM6s, which I also have a pair of, they fold, and those do fit in the front. So if you have a pair of folding headphones, they would easily fit into the front. Now, what I actually use this pocket for here, I mean, you do have that slip drop in, but I just kept my first aid kit, my boo-boo kit. I've shown it many times on the channel. I keep your normal stuff in there, Tums, Advil, Neosporin, Band-Aids, that sort of things. And it fit beautifully down into this front pocket right there. On the opposite side of the bag is where you have your water bottle holder, and it is zippable, so you can tuck away when it's not needed. You do have some mesh here that makes it a little bit expandable, and again, you can zip it up and it keeps it nice and flush and out of the way when not in use. Now, the water bottle holder is a little tight, it's a little snug. The biggest bottle I was able to fit in there is an 18-ounce Yeti Rambler. Will fit into that pocket there. But again, once you load this pocket with the water bottle, it no longer becomes personal item compliant. So I personally did not travel with the bottle. The trips I was going on where the flights weren't long enough to me warrant bringing a bottle. I did pick up a bottle eventually in the airport, fit beautifully in there, but I like the fact that it stays tucked out of the way. Next to the water bottle holder, you have an aluminum carabiner, a great place to clip, you know, if you're using AirPods, hand sanitizer, all sorts of items. I love that they gave you some more external carry clip options. Now on the back side of the bag, you have your vertical luggage pass-through, as well as an additional zipper pocket there on the sleeve itself. Like I mentioned earlier, my favorite pocket is actually this top lid pocket. It's accessible from the top. You know, I didn't use it for toiletries, but I use it as a quick access pocket when I was carrying the bag. So going through the airport security, I was able to toss my phone, wallet, all sorts of things in there. And some of the things I did carry in there, like I mentioned, you know, my snacks, gum, chapstick, eye drops. I just use this as a nice giant quick access pocket. It worked out wonderfully, especially when you're carrying the bag on you. Just so awesome. My sunglasses, this is everything I needed quicker access to, and even my wallet. This is my Evergoods Element card wallet. It's still using this one. It all fits in there. You can fit your passports, all sorts of things. You do have that pocket on the back here if you want to put passports or something, you know, especially if you're carrying this bag. This is the part that rides up against you, so it's a little bit more secure, but still, I just found this pocket to be so useful. So how I have this bag packed out is exactly how I travel with this bag, personal item only. This isn't props, that's my actual gear. Now that we have this bag fully loaded, how well will it pass, still pass, as a personal item? Now I have my personal item sizer box, and this bag fully loaded, it will pass. It's just gonna be a little snug now that it's fully loaded, but we'll be able to get it down into this box here and pass as a personal item. So just remember that anything you clip to the outside, water bottles and all that, is really going to make it not meet those dimensions. But because it is a cubed bag duffel, it allows you to maximize the amount of, you know, usable volume and space that are on the inside of this bag. So from an aesthetic standpoint, it may not be the most sexiest bag on the market, being a complete rectangle here, but it's going to be highly functional in that aspect. So overall, I think the aesthetics is okay. It is just another black bag, and currently at the time of filming, this is the only color and material option. So again, not the sexiest bag, but super functional. So I'm a little bit mixed on the aesthetics overall, because, you know, it just does look like a black cube, and sometimes I like to travel with a little bit more style, but from a functionality standpoint, excellent. Now there's 3 different ways to carry this bag. One being the traditional duffel style. You have this Velcro padded top grab handle. This padded handle is nice, it's fine. It makes it easier for you to carry this bag, especially as you're navigating the tight, you know, aircraft aisleway there. So nice, very easy to grab. And of course you have that vertical luggage pass-through on the back side, so super easy to carry it with a roller or luggage. And lastly, it does come with an adjustable shoulder strap. Now it is removable, obviously, and it has these swivel clips here. So if this strap gets tangled up on you, it doesn't get, you know, it's really easy to get back the correct orientation. Now this is a nice strap. It is basic nylon webbing. It is 2 inches thick, so it is a nice, you know, width for weight distribution, and it has this nice like landing pad here. This is where I ran into issue with the bag. I traveled with this bag during spring break during the TSA shortage, so the wait times were a lot longer. This loadout that I have in the bag here is actually 19 pounds. So even though I had TSA pre-check, I had to wait in line a lot longer than normal. And this, I found the pad was not sufficient enough. It was very uncomfortable to carry this bag for extended periods of time. Now I did try doing the single shoulder carry like the cool middle school kids. I did use it crossbody style to distribute the weight a little bit across the body. But either way, after about 45 minutes in the TSA line, I just had to take this bag off and put it down on the floor and just kick it along as the line kept moving, because it did become uncomfortable into both of my shoulders, and then just carrying the static weight of 19 pounds while standing in line was also uncomfortable for me. So it is padded, it is a nice width, you have some breathable air mesh here on the back side of the pad. I just think they should have went with a more robust pad, something like an EVA foam, something that can support the weight of this bag. So when you're traveling personal item only like this, you don't want to overload this bag. You don't want to make it super heavy, because this is the only way to really carry the bag these two ways. So just keep that in mind. Now the top of this pad here has these two circular magnets, and that's actually for you to clip it onto the back side here. So these magnets attach here, and that's super cool, because again, when I was navigating the tight aisleway of the aircraft, I'm carrying the bag like this, and I was able to attach the strap here to keep it out of the way and dangling and getting caught on things. And then when you put this bag down underneath the seat in front of you, it just keeps that strap nice and organized. So I thought that was an awesome touch to the strap. But as far as comfort, I think there's a lot left to be desired. Now, because the strap is removable, when I do carry this for personal item, I will change out this strap and use something probably from my Go Rut kit bag, or something that has a nice, more padded EVA foam style. So definitely an area where I think that could have been done better was the strap. So for me, it was just uncomfortable to carry. So do I think this bag deserves a spot underneath the airline seat in front of you? I actually think it does. Despite the comfort issue I had with the strap, which can easily be changed out or fixed in a later version, overall I think this bag was executed extremely well. I love the overall interior exterior layouts, because the interior gives you the bulk of the volume, allowing you to maximize your space while giving you all of the organization you need on the outside of the bag. So whether you're carrying this personal item only or you're pairing it with a roller, you have access to all of these pockets and clip options. I mean, I think it's executed very well. The designer of this bag, or owner of the company, did a great job there at anticipating what you might need. This bag fit beautifully underneath the seat in front of me, and then having this big giant zipper pocket here to access all my things right at the front, again executed very well. And even right down to having this pull handle on the side for you to maneuver this bag in and out from different areas. So window seat and middle seat, this bag fits snugly and perfectly against the, underneath the seat. When I was in the aisle, it was a little tall, or a little long, I'm sorry, so I did have to flip the bag long ways. But overall, it passed as a personal item. I've flown with it personal item. I do think it excels a little bit better as a companion to your roller luggage, because of this nice square design. It sits beautifully onto your roller luggage, and then you have this nice flat top if you got to put shopping bags or other things, stuff you pick up in the airport. And you don't have to carry the duffel bag, so whatever you load in here, just riding along with your carry luggage. So I actually did enjoy this more as a companion to my carry-on roller than I did in carrying a personal item only. If I do go that route, again, I said I would change out the strap. But overall, I think this bag is well executed, especially in function, with all of the exterior pocketing being easily accessible. Now, how well does this bag stack up against some of the marketing taglines like overbuilt and not overpriced? I think it does a pretty good job. At $120, it's definitely not your cheapest duffel bag on the market, but it's also not super premium like an Evergoods TD Transit briefcase or duffel. Those things are like over $200, but again, it's also reflected in the materials and the build quality here. There is a clear attempt to make this bag durable. Like on the sides here at the bottom, you'll see this tubular piping here on the high abrasion areas. They use 1680D ballistic polyester at the bottom, again on all of your high contact, high abrasion areas. And then there's bar tack stitching where you want to see bar tack stitching on the handles, on the sides, the shoulder straps. So there's a clear attempt in quality and materials to try to make this more durable. So I do think they do live up to their price point, at least of $120. This definitely feels better than what you'll find on some other bags. But overall, I think they made good on their claim of being overbuilt and not overpriced. If you have any more questions about the CARRYX Personal Duffle 27 liter, please put those down in the comment section below. The goal of this channel is to always help you find the right gear for you, so I respond to every single one. I want to say thank you to CARRYX for sending out the Personal Duffle for me to thoroughly test and review. And if you liked this video and you found any value in today's video, please consider hitting like and subscribe, so that directly supports me and the channel, and hopefully I can catch you on my next review.